Good afternoon, everyone. Make it nice and crisp. Okay. The time is a little bit on the shorter side. So, interesting topic. I think from the morning itself in different panels you'll be talking about AI, and it's become so all pervasive that I was just chatting with somebody that till last year forums like this used to talk about personalization, data privacy, and all these kind of things. And now every context it is about AI, and from healthcare to engineering, we cannot escape a single hour without listening to AI. But fortunately, our topic is very crisp into marketing. We are all marketeers, business leaders, and fortunate to have a very interesting cross section of people with me. And within marketing, of course, again, there are multiple areas from research to media, but we are going to talk about creative production. And creative production, as we have known, some of us in our early and mid part of our career to now, the change that is happening in the last 12 to 18 months. It will be interesting to get the perspective of everyone, that how is it really changing, and a few questions, short questions along with that. With that, I really invite all of them, starting with Radhika, to kind of give a brief introduction to themselves, apart from what is written behind them, and we'll start off.
Hello. Hi, I'm Radhika. Like has been mentioned, ex-Chief Marketing Officer for Tasva at Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited. I run my own full-service marketing agency today called The Brand Architects. And I think I'm a solopreneur, so I'm learning much more to be on the other side. After 25 years of making agencies run after me, this is a time when I'm running after brands, and I am really learning a few things about how to, chase some chief marketing officers. So yeah, maybe it's God's way of getting back to me. I'm taking it in my stride.
Nice. So I think what's written behind, I look after operations and marketing for Bata. Apart from this, I think what I'm really passionate about is how AI is shaping and the way content creation is going to really transform. I think that neither agencies or clients still know it as to how it is going to unfold, and I think that's the reason why I'm here.
Very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ashish. I've been a marketer from the last 20 years, working with different industries. From the last 12 years, I'm in education space, and for me, AI is actually, enabling a lot of new opportunity for the students who are planning to study abroad. We'll definitely have a more discussion around it at the later stage of this conversation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Akshan Shadov. I am the CEO for ITV Network. We own a lot of iconic news media brands like the Sunday Guardian, the Daily Guardian, NewsX, India News, so on and so forth. We are the most tech-savvy, AI-savvy media group with products that are completely run on AI, like legally speaking, Professor X, so on and so forth. We'll deep dive as and when Tathagat takes us through this.
Okay, excellent. So quickly, setting off on that, so we were having a pre-chat as well. I think the context for this is that you see, there are two contexts, really quickly putting that, is that the demand on marketeers and CMOs to produce more content, that has really gone up phenomenally, and we ask why. Because of social media, because of having your own D2C, because having to reach out to consumers. The earlier days, we used to produce one content after a lot of research and some adaptations, and used to run its course for, let's say, 2 to 3 months, or or even in some cases 6 months. Now, the sheer ask on content has really gone up. That is really one. And secondly, there is also a sense that is prevailing, although like Badri rightly said, that nobody has really fully understood it. It's like riding a tiger at times. But the demands of content I would like to make it more little specific, and probably Akshan's case, you will be a little more unique than to the typical product or service marketing, is that where do you see, whether it is, let's say, a new announcement or a new service or a new product launch, and therefore the pressure of going to market, or there is the existing communication, the thematic communication, you want to extend it through a, regionally or geographically, and therefore make smarter and faster adaptations. Or it could be, the social always on, or you have to, let's say, retarget consumers at a hyper personalization level. So at which level do you see the demand, from CMOs really, or demand on CMOs really coming across to execute and use generative AI and all the automation tools regarding to it?
I'll take that up in that case, and then the forum is open. At News Media, AI has been one of our biggest enablers per se. When I say enabler, it's not here to overtake jobs or to take jobs. What used to happen was that if you have to do one particular video on a topic that needs a lot of research, you'll need a couple of people who'll design the graphics, who'll churn out the visuals from archives, who'll do their own deep diving into it. With the AI coming into the picture, the visuals, all the archiving, all the cataloging is simply out there. So if you have to say that from the production table to going live with a particular news piece or a news video, the time has drastically come down by 90-95%. AI has been a big enabler there. On the second part, which you mentioned, that AI has been really helpful when it comes to running always-on campaigns. You can just A/B test with thousands of creatives, thousands of copies, so on and so forth. So AI basically in last 3 to 4 months has changed the game completely, at least in news media.
So I'd like to add something there. I think the point of inflection, or the biggest enabler, if it was to be the traditional, I'm talking about the conventional chief marketing officers and the marketing heads, is in the personalization and the hyper personalization and driving it at scale. Plus, India really needs a whole lot of vernacular adapts, and I think that is really getting done, because some of my friends and my own work is clearly reflective that with the kind of complexity it used to take earlier, it used to be a big challenge, a big nightmare rather, but today with AI, that is an easy, the most, to me, the lowest hanging fruit. Content to a certain degree, yes, everybody is dabbling, but I think I agree with Badri completely that everybody is still figuring that out. And I wanted to also be the devil's advocate for you, Akshansh, sorry. While you say that, it's become so easy for media to pick out these visuals, etc., I want to cite a recent case which was, you can be the judge because it was spoken about a lot. When Piyush Pandey passed away, Forbes India did a picture of him which was AI generated, and it looked nothing like Piyush. And Forbes, so there was so I'm also bringing out that doing content, or driving content generation primarily with AI has its pitfalls.
See, that is where I started by saying that we are the most
I'm
tech
not saying
savvy,
ITV does that.
No, I'm just saying that
Although
is where
Tathagat
our
is very happy
LLMs
now the panel is really
No,
buzzing.
that is what I'm saying, and thank you for endorsing us. I can at least go on record and say that we have a better AI and LLM than Forbes out there.
You are rest assured that if at any point of time I'm buying any media, I'm coming to you. I'm not going to Forbes.
Okay, I think just to add, and I think the perspective here, I think the way at least I look at it, and this is not necessarily to just talk about what Bata believes and what Bata does. I think the way landscape is changing pretty fast, right? I mean, we all have been, marketeers. We have all, uploaded pictures and creatives on Facebook and Meta, and we have seen that size adaptations, translations, all has been possible, right? Suggestions, etc. They have been possible for last 2-3 years, right? I think the new frontiers that are coming now, right? The fact that you've shot something, already you have a shot ready and you've got a video content, you want to do a vernacular as she was talking about, right? Lip sync, it's possible now, it's been done, right? Possibly not in-house, but there are agencies in India as well who are, doing that extra work to kind of stitch it together. So that's possible, right? And we possibly used it last quarter where we wanted to go in different languages, and we shot with a celebrity shoot, and it did a lip sync absolutely perfectly. Then second is, I think the plan B, right? What I mean by plan B, I don't think we've reached a stage where your plan A is AI. And I think that is where we are forcing our team now to think that plan A for 2026 will be AI. And there have been instances where the plan A fails or the output is not good, and you suddenly say that, okay, let's see what AI does. And it's turned out pretty good. So I think the crux of what I want to say is that, I think both sides are right. This is a fast evolving space, right? What was possible 3 years back, I think we all use it in, day out. We possibly don't even realize that AI is working behind the scenes. And there is a new frontier that every quarter is getting unlocked, right? The challenges of how do you create a creative content through AI, what is a problem, let's say in Q3 is getting solved in Q4, right? So that's the place, and that's the place where I think we all have to be, watchful, likewise for agencies and likewise for clients, to understand as to how this space is changing and what are the possibilities. And possibly his team has cracked it. And the idea that was coming to my mind is, can I go to his office along with my marketing team, because it will be good inspiration for my team to learn as to how they are doing it, right? Yeah.
On that part, we actually launched a tool which enables a lot of people to, this again is an accurate use of AI as we have been speaking, wherein you can just do all of your litigation, be it getting a notice for rent or a rent agreement, or deep diving into FIR, or to send a legal notice for which people pay bombs, or even to get an FIR from a police station, you have to go to a lawyer. That is something we have automated using AI. Another case in point being that our LLMs are so strong that major media houses, without naming them, ran a lot of fake news pertaining to recently Dharmender, and before that during Operation Sindoor. Our AI was the one which flagged it that there is no credible source which says that, and we did not go ahead with the news. So herein AI is an enabler to push the right narrative as well in the market.
Okay, just to add here, the marketing automation part. What we realized that personalization is very, very important in terms of student placements, right? Because every student has a unique choices, and especially when they are searching universities, they actually understanding what type of courses they are looking at. By hyper personalization, we can send a very personalized message to particular student as per the criteria. Again, the content part, if you talk about the production, see, there are a lot of things happening because of the policies, especially, when the Trump came into the picture, especially the destination like US and Canada, there are a lot of news every day coming is, we are taking a lot of help from AI to just generate the content. The only problem what we are facing is the authenticity of the content. And because of AI, there is a lot of, extra content available on social media. This is the only thing which is actually we are facing challenge. But if you see the entire funnel, we are taking help in every aspect from AI, starting from face-to-face to pre-departure till the time student goes to particular destination.
Thanks guys, and very interesting perspective. And really, Badri, when you say, plan A has to be AI, I read it as a very significant mindset change across organizations and leaders, that we need to plan for that in 2026. And glad you kind of mentioned Piyush. It would be very interesting to know that, had he lived on in a few years more, what would his take be on AI? And in the interest of time, actually, I'm skipping one question, and I'm now getting to something which also, kind of always in my thoughts, that while there is the demand to be more efficient, fast, quicker to the market, it is never really, black and white at every level, as much as everybody is going. And in India, for example, thanks to the the telco participation in that, the average consumer, all 800 million of smartphone users are probably, it's up to them. So they are really all using all forms of Pro Plus kind of, AI tools, and therefore there is a, when things like Nano Banana and, Ghibli kind of things happen, it's really, getting people accustomed to the early AI. And people are also getting very discerning about AI, because the moment that you put something over there and there are 1,000 comments and the first 100 comments would be AI, and whether it is termed as a positive or negative, you don't really know. In that context, I actually want to just spend only one question and get people's perspective, because we have all grown up and built our careers in the non-AI era. Now, there is the dichotomy between we produce content, and there are certain content which needs to serve the purpose of the day, of the week, of the month, and they can very well be CTA driven. They can very well be short duration. But when it comes to original storytelling of the brand, and the sheer, you produce something and you want it to be a little more enduring, you want it to resonate with your core brand values, and therefore the debate between trust and authenticity, and whether to be viral or for the sake of it, or whether to stay true. And there will always be crosswinds, there will always be backlash of some kind of people. So how in your own domains you kind of guardrail against, while you embrace AI when the market demands it, what are your individual guardrails that you keep in mind that okay, this is something we need to be watchful of when producing out a content in completely made in GenAI?
Can I take that?
Yeah.
I think to begin with, and I will speak about image creation, or moving or static, either. I think my own experiments have led me to believe, and at this point of time, I'm like everybody's saying, it's an evolving space. So therefore, I will change my mind maybe. But what I have come to realize that the guardrails are extremely important, because until you keep them, there is a huge tendency for whatever tool you are using to take it beyond. So the story or the brand authenticity has to be something that you have to keep absolutely watertight, and the initial story ideas, or the storytelling, what should I say, big idea, has to be either yours or has to come from serious consumer insight. And you may or may not take the help of AI to research that, because AI is also going to throw up only that much as the research is. And you do know that in India, I mean, if you were to talk just about the census itself, how long back was the national census done? We don't know enough about the consumer group. So therefore, until you're keeping your story absolutely tight, I would give this an example of something like, you need to keep your framework, very much in place. And if you think of AI as a spider spinning a web, but you need to clearly define the boundaries. If you do not, and have the brand authenticity, the key insight in place, it tends to go all over the place. That's my understanding.
Just to add a small bit, is that as the regulations are also firming up, just like with the influencer space, somewhere the regulation stepped up and saying that you have to disclose paid collaborations. Similarly, we will have to have made with AI as a disclaimer in most of the contents that we also put out.
So far, so sorry.
It's already
but
started.
Yeah, so far, I think wherever we have reached, and in India so far, I think people are discerning enough to be able to make out what is AI generated, because we have not reached that seamlessness yet. But yeah, I'm sure we will need
happen, yeah.
some sort of a clear benchmarking or a indicator that says that this is an AI generated creative.
So in my mind, I think there are two parts to this question, right? One is from brand side. I think there in my mind it is no way different to how you would treat your agency partner or your director, or the way you create any creative, right? So your brief and your idea has to come alive in the true sense, right? So that's the guardrail. In my mind, the brand guardrails are the guardrails, right? You can't generate it through AI or through a actual shoot. You have to ensure you are true to brand guidelines, and I think that's what Radhika was saying. The other side, I think the possibilities. Let's say you have a brand ambassador, right? Now, brand ambassador has given you 1 day of shoot, right? And he's given you or she's given you 1 year rights. You can create whatever you want. Earlier you could, you needed to shoot, go to that place, so I think that is the other side of the guardrail that I think as marketeers we'll have to kind of understand, connect with our, celebs and, talent to ensure we have the rights. Because today in a AI engine, you can create an avatar if you have the permission. I mean,
Contracts need to be reimagined as well.
exactly, right? So that's the other guardrail. I would say that, that's the other side of the coin.
But I mean, like, I don't know if you recall, there is a Rado ad. You guys would have seen,
Yes,
right?
of course.
So I'm saying so
Hrithik
far
Roshan.
we've not seen everybody familiar with the Rado ad?
Hrithik
The
Roshan and
Hrithik
Katrina
Roshan
Kaif.
and Katrina Kaif. Hrithik is looking at London and Katrina is looking at Tokyo. Sort of, they're not looking at each other. And during the course of the ad, several times their hands exchange. From right, it becomes left. She's wearing a ring sometimes on the left, sometimes on the right, and So I'm just saying that so far we've not had an example of how seamlessly perfect maybe AI can create something like that. And whatever bad examples we've had have also thrown off a lot of
I think
CMOs
it's
and
part of
marketing heads.
evolution, but whatever
No, but
both
a
of you
brand like
are
Rado
saying,
to do something
yes,
like
absolutely.
that too with the country's top stars having paid them
Absolutely.
whatever crores that they would have
they're
paid.
fair
them.
money. But at the same time, you have, brands like Coca-Cola who,
That's the only example
despite,
everybody talks about.
maximum, and they were trolled as well, but they still had the gumption to kind of, go ahead and say that, okay, this is how you want to do our
But Thagat,
Christmas
I think it was also more
storytelling.
about we want to be the first ones to have
Yes.
done that, sort of stated to the world that, okay, we have the first AI generated, 100% AI generated creative. Yeah, and that moment, to take that space. It was
Still,
more
they have
about
huge budget
that.
to spend otherwise.
That vanity, the vanity metric.
I think the crux of this is, I think we are also, talking about the possibilities, right? And I think this is one space where, as, let's say, a CMO, it's easy to, follow this space and get your teams to try and do it. I think my advice would be get your hands dirty, right? Subscribe to some of the tools, put your own prompts, do it yourself, and you will understand how this space is fast evolving. Because there are tools today which exactly solve the same problem, right?
Absolutely.
And it is fast evolving where they take care of from one scene as an input in the next prompt for the next scene, right? So I think the tech space and tech people understand our problem and they are trying to solve it. Some tools are already there, and you can LinkedIn and I can share those tools with you, which are solving some of the problems that Radhika said. I have not spent time to create myself. Possibly next weekend, that's the task, Radhika, to see. Yeah. So yeah, but it's possible. It's getting possible, right? Is all I want to leave as an encouragement, that get your hand dirty and try it out, right? It doesn't.
Yeah, and we could actually be, yeah, absolutely. I think you kind of preempted that as well, because a lot of times that it's not only as marketeers we work with a lot of different agency partners, but the time has come to when you're saying that rewrite all the rules, etc. And typically, it's a certain way that it probably existed. There are these 7, 8 kind of agencies, and within our own team also, there is a certain hierarchy. People who are more proficient in media or brand or let's say activation, rural, etc. I think I would ask that: is there when you typically hire a 25-year-old or a 30-year-old in your teams, that because so much of creative is externally driven and so much of creative thinking is also internally generated, is there any particular skill that you look for when hiring youngsters, whether it could be prompt engineering or whether it could be, I mean, has it reached that stage that you actively look at those skills?
Just one thing, while we were discussing the brand ads on Coke, it might be vanity for them, but for a lot of D2C players, it's about survival. A lot of ads that I see on Insta or maybe Facebook have been generated through AI. All the product cataloging is actually happening through AI, and I think there's a big market for prompt engineers today. Creativity is
That's
about
where it is more effective.
yeah.
the
Creativity is
cataloging.
all about how beautifully can you write a prompt and then what sort of output can it generate.
So just to take that question. I think till now, I have not been able to, get somebody who's already a prompt engineer. And in my mind, this is, as I said, that this is a place which is fast evolving. And but this is something that I think in hiring, this is a trait that I am really actively looking for, as to whether you have a tech bent of mind and are you trying it out or not.
No, I
Excellent.
think there is a term called AI generalist now. Everybody is now
Absolutely.
AI generalist, and everybody is looking for AI generalist now.
Yeah,
You
it's
should
bound,
at least understand
it's
that,
bound
you
to
know, what's-
happen
yeah,
in a
yeah,
country
absolutely.
like ours, and I think probably the specialist will come. But one thing that was, unmissable, even though it was probably not intended or not intended. I mean, when Akshansh, you were saying that, mentioned that we are the most advanced in the last 3 to 4 months. You mentioned that, it's all recency. So we are all talking last 3 months, last 6 months. I think that's the exciting part of this journey, and probably once we meet a few months down the line, things would have really changed beyond recognition. Thank you very much. I think time's up. The
Thank
red
you, Prabhakar.
sign is there.
Thank you.
And thank you very much once again.
Thank you for being a lovely
Thank you.
audience. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.